Right guys, so today we are looking at how to calculate the area of a circle. So in the previous lesson we looked at working out the circumference, which was the special word we use for the perimeter of a circle, and we also kind of looked at how to work out the arc length of a part of a circle, and the arc length is just part of a given circumference. Okay. Today, obviously, we're going to look at area. Now, for area, there is a slightly different formula for you to remember, okay? And that is pi times the radius squared. So the area of a circle will always be pi multiplied by the radius squared, okay? Now, when we get back into school, I may show you the reason that we square the radius and how it works to multiply it by pi, but for now you just need to know that that's the formula used for calculating the area. So the important first step, which we looked at yesterday, write down that your diameter is 12 because your radius is 6. Now you may not need the diameter, in fact you won't need the diameter today, but it's worth making sure you write this down so that you know you can distinguish between the two, so that you're not going to make any silly mistakes. You're not going to just use the diameter to try and find the area, okay? So we are going to do area is equal to pi times the radius squared, and we are going to substitute in the radius. So area is equal to pi times 6 squared. If you put all this into your calculator, you'll get area is equal to 36 pi. Again, if you press the SD button, it will give you an answer in decimal form, and we're going to leave our answers to one decimal place. So we get 113.097, which rounds to 113.1. And remember guys, this is an area, so we need to use the appropriate units. Now the questions that you're going to look at today are going to be on Maths Watch, and they tell you that instead of using pi, use 3.142. So wherever there's a pi in the working, they just tell you to do 3.142 times that instead, okay? And 3.142 is just an accurate approximation of pi. And if you do that, you get, in this case, to one decimal place, 113.1 again. So if we use the correct, if we use the correct value for pi, or if we use the approximation, we are actually getting the same answer for that one, which is good. Won't always be the case, but because it's quite a close approximation, it will work nicely. So for this second example, again, start off by writing out what your diameter and your radius are going to be, 10 and 5. Now hopefully you're seeing the importance of writing these both out now, because we're not given the radius in this circle. We can work it out because we're given the diameter, but it's very easy, particularly say if you were, feeling under pressure because you were struggling with this, it is very easy to just use the number that you're given. We need to use the radius. So again, area is pi times radius squared. Area is pi times, and we substitute the radius in, 5 squared. Pop that into your calculator, it's going to give you 25 pi. Press our SD button, and we get 78.5 centimeters squared to one decimal place. Okay, it's 78.5398164, and that'll go on and on and on. We just want it to one decimal place. Okay. Again, if we use the approximation that Maths Watch will want you to use, you get 78.6 in this one. So it's not exactly the same, because you get 78.5 for actually using pi. For using this approximation, you get 78.6. It's not a million miles away, okay? You're still very close to the correct thing. The last example we are going to look at, guys, and I'll just move this up a bit so we can see it a bit more clearly. So, again, this is part of a circle, okay? And it doesn't matter whether you've got a circle, a half circle, a quarter of a circle, or any kind of sector of a circle, okay? Always write down what your radius and your diameter are going to be. So our radius is 8 and our diameter is 16. And like I said previously, you won't need the diameter if we're working out the area, but it's good to have both of them there so you know for sure you're using the correct one. Now, we are going to work out the area of the whole circle. Okay? Now we have got half of a circle here. And I'm just going to make a note of that. We're going to work out the area of the whole circle. So if we carried this on, what would the area of the whole thing be? Because we haven't got a formula for the area of a semicircle. Our formula is for the area of a whole circle with those dimensions. So, area is equal to pi times radius squared, which means our area is equal to pi times 8 squared, which is 64 pi. And guys, I know I keep writing this down and you might think it's pointless because we then press SD and we get a decimal answer. But sometimes, and we'll go into this in the next lesson, you're asked to give your answer in terms of pi. So it's useful to see that we can write these as an amount of pi, and that's absolutely fine. You won't need to do that today, but it is still useful to see that. So 64 pi gives us 201.1 to 1 decimal place, but we haven't finished because this is the whole circle. We want half of a circle. So if we divide that by 2, we get 100.5 centimetres squared for the area of that.